I love limes. I love them. They're great. I love them so much, and I like to present them like this in my house.
The Neo is a perfect example of what makes Apple marketing so successful. They have clarity about which products they'll make because they know exactly who they want to serve. They work as hard as they can to empathize with those people's current situation, to meet them where they're at.
It does feel like, there's been a lot of talk about the TikTok stuff that they've been doing, which has been a bit incredible and unhinged.
I love the colors. I like the positioning. I like the TikTok ads.
Maybe they have some new kind of plans around social. It kind of feels like that's the case.
It does.
More than I can ever recall over decades, and I really mean it, decades of recommending Macs to people, I know so many more people who immediately hear the value proposition of the Neo and begin considering a purchase almost immediately because of the price alone. What's most shocking about this, though, is that most of the people that I've talked to, most of the people that I've gotten this reaction from, have never owned a Mac in their lifetime, which is, of course, the first answer to our question of what's new, a new customer. The Neo is Neo because it's for people who are new to the Mac.
I said this on another podcast. I'll throw it in here. My old boss, Jeff Edmond, who was a sales guy at PC World, and when we merged Macworld with PC World, he became my boss. Nice guy. He died a few years ago. Smart, just good guy, sales guy, but like a good sales guy. And he would talk about sales stuff that I just don't understand at all. You do some sales, Mike. You understand it more than me.
I probably understand it more, yeah.
But the thing that just blew my mind was he said, you must be known to be considered, you must be considered to be bought. That was one of his mantras that he had. And that's why you advertise. And I learned a lot. It's like, why does brand advertising happen? It's like, because you can turn your fly-by-night operation into a well-known operation by advertising. And then you're not a mystery brand anymore. And I was thinking about Jeff and what he said last week, because there's a whole span of people who never considered. Everybody knows Apple, right? Who never considered Apple. Because their zone of purchase is not, Apple does not enter it. And so Apple is never considered.
What I love about this is that the color of these devices helps customers notice the device. It helps the device to be known. The price makes most customers take the device seriously. It helps the device to be considered. So what about customers who are ready to buy? choose a color, choose a storage size. That's it.
So, let's bring them out. Can we bring the iMacs out, please? The new iMacs for $19.99. They're in 5 colors. Blueberry, grape, tangerine, lime, and strawberry. And they are beautiful. They are so beautiful, and we hope that people want to collect all 5. It turns out that nobody's ever made translucent plastic in colors this big before, and it turned out that the plastics didn't exist. We've spent the last 6 months, 9 months learning about plastics chemistry and how to make these things really, really beautiful. And our design team has done a phenomenal job. Again, lime, over here, it's beautiful. The keyboards and mice match. Strawberry, it's delicious. Blueberry is gorgeous. Grape, what more needs to be said? The color of Rome. And tangerine, just beautiful. And it's incredible because inside our company, people pick colors that you'd never expect, right? Like I can't go into that, but just amazing. You'd think they'd pick blue, but they'd pick tangerine as their favorite color. It's amazing. And we think these colors are really, really going to be exciting for people. We think one of the most important questions now when you buy a computer is going to be, what's your favorite color? And this is more important in our surveys, in our consumer surveys, this is far more important than most of the mumbo-jumbo associated with buying a consumer computer. Megabytes, megahertz, gigabytes. People don't care about that stuff. They want to trust us to give them a really great computer. What they care about is, I want to express myself and pick the color I want. And we think this is going to be really hot. You can see these in the booth. They are available today.
The important piece of this is that the Neo is the easiest Mac to buy because people new to the Mac mostly don't care about the options that you get in other scenarios, but instead actively scorn choosing those options because the idea of having to make those choices is something that they just simply don't care about. I also think it explains something else, which is the insane ad campaign that Apple is running on TikTok. Now, think about it for a second. If your goal is to reach a new customer, a great place to start is with young people. Young people probably already like Apple products because they have an iPhone. They very likely to be new to these types of products, and by that I mean a laptop, or maybe they're purchasing their first Mac and they're a valuable customer to reach because of that. So if you want to be known by young people, where do you go? Which medium do you choose for your advertisements?
Okay, so Apple's turned it around. We've got Gil, we've got you, we've got G3, we've got Rhapsody, we've got Newton 2000. Great. Now, when are we going to see some real kick-ass TV commercials to change the mindset?
Yeah. Well, let me go through your preamble a little bit. I personally don't think Apple's completely turned it around. I mean, I think it's turning it around. And I wouldn't put it in the past tense. I think it's like this right now. And I feel very confident in the team that's managing the pieces of Apple right now. I think they're doing a really good job. And the strategy, I think, is pretty doggone good. So I feel very good about that, and I think it's turning around, and I think you're going to see more and more signs of that. I'll give you my own opinion on this, because marketing is a subjective thing. It's not a science. There's a lot of art to it. And my personal belief is that the medium really does communicate a lot about the message. In some cases, the medium overrides the message. And I personally believe that Apple should not be on television at all this year. It's the wrong place to be for Apple. Because what it means, just a sec, what it means is that Apple is trying to spend a lot of money to convince you that everything's okay. And what I think Apple ought to be doing is taking a fraction of that money and putting it in print. And I don't mean 8-page Wall Street Journal ads. Because to me, again, an 8-page Wall Street Journal ad is saying, I'm going to spend my wad to show you that I'm back. And what Apple needs now is not spending $1 million to tell people it's back. It needs for the journalists to be saying Apple's back on page 1. Because if on page 7 to 14, Apple's spending $1 million saying we're back, but on page 1, a journalist writes an article saying they're in the tank, who are you going to believe? As a matter of fact, that $1 million on page 7 to 14 is going to reinforce the message on page 1. They got to buy me.
Meanwhile, it's the TV commercials that are influencing the salesmen at Circuit City and Fry's, and they're the ones who are bad-mouthing us.
You know, I don't buy it at all. I don't buy it at all.
If the medium is the message, Apple has decided that the medium of TikTok is best at transmitting brain rot. So how do you transmit the qualities of the Neo through brain rot? The place that I think that they like to begin is by asking which qualities they actually want to transmit. And I think that the answer here is clear, as we already discussed. Since Apple wants to first be known by these new customers, they've chosen the same quality that we first observed when we walked into the Apple Store: color. Color also has the advantage of being fun. It's easy to impute through video, and thus we come to brain rot. With this, our visit to the Apple Store is complete.
You go into like the MacBook Compare specs page on their website, and you set up like a MacBook Neo, a MacBook Pro, and a MacBook Air as the three. And you put them in price order. It almost looks like you have them in the reverse order for how nice these computers are. It's like, if you look at like cars, the really, really cheap car model of a model line is like only available in white. Right, and then you go a little bit higher, and it's like, okay, you can get a few more colors here. And then you go to the luxury cars, you get a lot of color options there. The MacBook lineup is the opposite. The nicer the Mac computer is, the fewer color options you have.
Which means that our investigation of the first new thing is also complete. The new customer. So what else is new?
I want more FaceTimes with Lime. I want Lime to be FaceTiming other people.
Yeah.
Because I love Lime, as they say.
I love Lime. I love limes.
Get that Lime in there.
I love limes. I love to display them. It's very good. It's very good. If you haven't seen them, you should see them.